Read with Cindy, bookshelves, that shit doesn't add up. Doesn't this bitch have only like 4 books or some shit? Well, I'm using bookshelf in this video as a loose term because they're technically not my bookshelves, but they are my office's bookshelves. And that's pretty much why I'm filming here today. I have found a little corner in our office to hide and film and show you a tour of some of the design and art books in our office. Emphasis on some. I'm not going to show you all of the books because ain't nobody got time for that, but I have picked out a selection of the most interesting books in my opinion. As some of you know, I work as an art director at a digital ad agency, so a common question that I get is how to get started as a designer and what design books I would recommend. And actually, I got a comment today from someone named Angela, and she said, I've been having a midlife crisis at age 19 because I don't like my current major. I've been considering switching to graphic design because it's one of the few things I'm interested about. I stumbled upon your website while looking at your traveling Instagram, and must I say, you have become one of my main sources of inspiration, not only as a booktuber and a person, but as a designer. I love your work, and I just wanted to say thank you because looking at it made me even more sure that this is the field I truly want to be in. So reading that comment made me really happy, and just reading any comments from anyone on YouTube or Instagram that say that they've been inspired to try out design or pursue design as a career is just great to see, because I didn't switch to design until like halfway through college and I knew nothing about it, and I'm so glad that I made that choice. And I think that if I can inspire other people to start dabbling into it, then that's awesome. So Angela, if you're watching, and if any other design students / design perspectives are watching this, hopefully you can take something out of it and feel inspired. I do want to note to anyone who has been lurking on my website, I haven't updated that shit in like a year. A lot of the work there is mostly from 2017, and pretty much all of the work that I put on there is digital design because I mostly focus on web design. I've been meaning to update it with more production and photo shoot projects that I've been working on recently, but because of certain clients that I work with, a lot of the photos are confidential until they're ready to be released. So for now, you just have old shit, and I wouldn't herald that as the all-encompassing representation of design. What I'm going to do today is show you a flip through of the design and art books that I've chosen for this video that range from different disciplines and styles, and hopefully as you're watching, if there is a specific style that speaks out to you, maybe that could be some kind of clue to the kind of work that you want to be doing. And even if you're not interested in being a designer, at the very least, you can just look at some pretty pictures in books, because that's what we all like to do, right? So let's begin the tour. The first thing I'm going to show you is a set of books from Counterprint that is a celebration of graphic design from Japan, Eastern Europe, and Scandinavia. I'm going to flip through each of these books starting with Japan. So From Japan is a collection of work from some of the most talented agencies in, you guessed it, Japan. Wow, what a surprise. A lot of these agencies are Nendo, MR Design, Grand Deluxe, Daikoku Design Institute, The Simple Society, and whatever else that I'm currently reading off of Google for this voiceover right now. Japanese graphic design today is unique in the sense where it unites traditional and modern aspects of design together. So it's kind of a discipline that's full of contradiction. There's like this balance between ancient and modern, simple and extravagant, Eastern and Western, handcrafted and mass-produced, and print and pixel. This book here is about graphic design from Eastern Europe, which includes works from Croatia, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Poland, Russia, and Serbia. This selection shows corporate identity projects from recent years and some progressive projects that highlight the changing visual and artistic tastes of this geographic area. So Russia in particular had an explosion of art when the Soviet Union was formed, and it became this international influence on the 20th century graphic design for the rest of Europe. And a lot of Russian artists were super hyped up by the revolution and got into Cubism and Futurism. There was this one Russian artist named Malevich who created Suprematism, which is a combination of geometry and a limited color palette. And then this went on to influence Constructivism and then later Modernism. And that pretty much was this entire domino effect for how we approach art and design today. And then lastly, there's Scandinavia. As you can see from these books, every culture reflects its beliefs and values and attitudes in their design, but Scandinavian design in particular is seen as democratic and functional and simple. And Scandinavian design is pretty much the type of design that we all aspire to because there's so much thought and care that's put into the functionality and sustainability of their work. And their designs for homeware and furniture are based on more bare, simple forms, so there's more of a sparse visual narrative. Scandinavia invests a lot in their education, and unlike America, their higher education is largely free, which is no coincidence to why they have some of the best design schools in the world, and obviously we have a lot to learn from them. The next book I want to show you is video cover art. This covers VHS video cover art from the 1980s to the early 1990s. This was curated by Tom Hodge, or The Dude Designs, who is a poster artist who put together a collection of over 240 video sleeves and separated it by different genres like action, comedy, horror, kids, sci-fi, and thriller films. Given the time period, obviously there's a lot of big, muscly dudes with mustaches and women with big titties everywhere and explosions and all that kind of fun and slightly sexist jazz. So imagine Fast and the Furious but on steroids, and you pretty much have this book. After that, I have two books to show you that come from directoryofillustrations.com and has now been printed in these books to feature different international artists. So there's three markets that the directory leads in, which are commercial illustration, medical illustration, and toy and game illustration. These books are also available online for you to flip through, so I will link to them in the description if you don't want to buy the books and you just want to look at them online instead. This book is called As Little Design as Possible, and it's about Dieter Rams' work. So Dieter Rams is one of the most influential product designers of the 20th century. Even if you don't immediately recognize his name, you've probably used one of the radios or clocks or lighters or shelves or hundreds of other products that he's designed. He's also known for his 10 principles of good design, one of them being that good design is as little design as possible to the point where you don't even notice it because it just feels so natural. This book covers Rams' life and his work and his ideas, so that basically covers 40 years of work at his company and some of the stuff that he's done around his house and furniture designs. There's a bunch of sketches and prototypes and then finished products that he's done, so it's pretty much a whole collection of his work. And then we have another set from Counterprint, and this focuses on logos specifically. So there's monogram, abstract, nature, and human. Human logo is a collection of people-based logos categorized in sections like bodies, hands, hearts, eyes, and faces. There's over 300 logos here. Abstract logo is a collection of abstract logos, obviously categorized in circles, rectangles, triangles, and polygons. There's over 400 logos here because that's just a whole lot of combinations. Monogram logo is pretty much what the title says, and it contains 452 logos from some of the world's leading designers, and a lot of it is very iconic that you might be able to recognize. And then lastly, there's Nature logo, which is a collection of, you guessed it, nature-based logos. Wow, oh my God, who would have guessed? It's categorized into sections like trees, flowers, water, mountains, and weather. And then the book contains over 268 logos. And then here we have this book called Less is More, and this book is about limited color palettes in design, which basically is any design that uses either 1, 2, or 3 colors. There's this power in simplicity of conveying a short and sweet message without a whole bunch of noise in your work, and when you reduce your color palette, that's actually a very effective way to get your message across. And it allows for more subtle use of texture. So this book is really an exploration of all the things that you can do with it. There are 120 projects showcased in this book, and there's a whole wide variety of projects like book design, packaging, brand identity, and marketing. And even when you dive into those things, there's so many subjects that they cover, like fashion labels, music festivals, and weddings. After that, we have a book called Iridescent. This is a very shiny book. We all like looking at shiny things, so sometimes designers will try to mimic these effects and try out a bunch of production techniques to get that holographic look. This book shows how iridescence can be applied to print, architecture, installations, fashion, and more. There's a wide range of expression for this, from matte to glossy or metallic to transparent. And because there's such a versatility of expression in this kind of thing, it kind of heralds this new age of holographic representation and innovation. And, even besides that, at the very least, we like looking at shiny things. So, what's not to like about it? After that, we have another set of books called Offscreen. Offscreen is an independent print magazine with a human-centered take on technology and the web. It is published 3 times a year, and they have put together all their work into these little mini books. Offscreen digs deep into the backstories of creative ideas and successful companies instead of just focusing on buzzwords. There's more introspective writing and human stories, and they ask questions about how we shape technology and how technology shapes us. Yes, it gets that deep. It also includes some little surprises like postcards and stickers that are tucked between the pages, so it's nice to have a little surprise and Easter egg in there too. This book is called 5,000 Ideas You Can Have Right Now. I tried to look up where this book is from and what it's about, but I honestly did not find any information about it. This was a book that was requested by my manager. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know why he requested it, but I know for a fact that he has not looked through this book at all. I maybe saw him skim through it like once. I'm guessing from these pages that they're kind of a collection of sketches that a designer has put together, but I don't even know who the designer is. So I guess if you're watching this and you might know where this book is from, let me know in the comments. After that, we have another set of books called At Edge. So At Edge books are released 5 times a year and are pocket-sized books that have a gallery-style spreads from a curated selection of photographers and directors. These books are also available online for you to flip through, so if you are interested in photography, you can check out the link that I'll put in the description box below, along with links for all the other books that I'm mentioning. Except for 5,000 Ideas, I still don't know where that came from. After that, we have a book called The Objects That Power the Global Economy. This is a book about 10 objects, and each object here has driven some radical change in the global economy, so the chapters explore what those changes are, how they came to be, and what comes next. The stories here are told through reports, data visualizations, and original photography and illustrations by all kinds of different artists. And then for this set of books specifically, these aren't picture books, but I thought that it was such a nice looking set that I wanted to show it anyway. These are the Harvard Business Review books in emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is important to learn because it's how you become a better human being. Wow, that just got real deep. But the books in this series are Resilience, Authentic Leadership, Influence plus Persuasion, Happiness, and Mindfulness. Each book in the series offers proven research showing how our emotions impact our work lives. It gives practical advice for managing difficult people and situations, and it also has inspiring essays on what it means to tend to our emotional well-being at work. And while I haven't read these books yet, they are definitely on my TBR, especially considering how they're very quick reads. If you have a specific book from here that you really want me to get to first so I can share with everyone how effective they are, let me know which book you would like me to start. And then the last book that I want to show you is Pretty Much Everything by Aaron Draplin. Aaron Draplin is a super prolific designer. He's considered to be one of the new school of influential graphic designers because he's able to combine design with social media and entrepreneurship and even DIY aesthetic to create this successful business and way of life. So he's known not just for his design work, but also for his philosophy and his lifestyle. And he's so prolific that one of my coworkers actually has a huge design crush on him to the point where we actually invited him to our office. He's a really cool dude. He has done a lot of work for brands like Esquire, Ford Motors, Burton Snowboards, and even the Obama administration. Pretty Much Everything is a mid-career survey of work, and it features a lot of case studies and inspiration, as well as more personal touches by Aaron, like road stories and how-tos and advice. A lot of the examples of his work have posters and record covers and logos, or just random things that he likes to experiment with. And the book presents the process behind his design. He also offers a lot of advice and commentary that illustrates how much more goes into design than just what appears on the page. So I think the combination of his work along with his humor and his personal observations makes this book kind of prolific in the contemporary design scene. And that pretty much concludes the books that I am showing you today for this video. I do want to note that these books are not required reading material if you want to be a designer or if you want to seek design inspiration. And to be very frank, I am pretty sure that most of my coworkers have barely read through any of these books. A lot of times when you see books in design studios or agencies or any office environment, they're really there for the vanity rather than for actual reading. You know, now that I think about it, my office should just start a booktube channel. I don't want to make people think that they need to buy these books because these books are fucking expensive, okay? You're talking like hundreds of pages that are colored printing for every single page. That shit adds up. And if you don't have the means to afford any of those books, you don't have to even buy them or even look at them because there are plenty of free resources online that you can turn to. So if you are looking for more design inspiration, you can just turn to the internet for that for no cost at all. If you want to look at other people's design work, there are plenty to see online, and not just from my website, so don't look at that shit. I am gonna mention a few. The first that comes to mind is Behance, and that is pretty much the hub for all types of creativity. There are different disciplines on that site that you can filter through, like web design, magazine design, interior design, 3D design, pretty much anything that you can think of. And then to narrow it down even further, if you are looking for illustrations or user interface design specifically, you can check out Dribbble for that. And lastly, if you want to get into digital design or web design, which is the field that I'm in, you can check out Awards, which is an international competition for web design and development that showcases the latest trends in technology and web. Awards is actually how I discovered the boat SBS, which is a graphic novel that I'm reading for the Asian Readathon because it's basically an interactive comic book in the form of a website with lots of really cool scrolling animations and illustrations, and it's really the kind of caliber of work that web designers aspire to have. So I would highly recommend it if you are really interested in that kind of stuff. And also, if you take a look at the international jury panel, you might see a familiar face who looks like a 12-year-old emo boy. I don't know how that creature infiltrated her way in there, but here she is. And that covers it for my bookshelf tour. Before I end this video, I am contractually obligated to say that this video has been sponsored by Skillshare once again. Yes, you know the fucking drill by now. Let me just read the script. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, technology, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Skillshare is also more affordable than most learning platforms out there. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. So I've been doing Skillshare videos for a while now, and you might notice that I have been using the same clip every time I promote Skillshare. The reason why I always share the same clip is because I'm too lazy to actually screen record my own computer, so I just use the same default clip that Skillshare has provided to me. But this time, this video actually has purpose because the guy that you have been consistently seeing in every Skillshare video is actually Aaron Draplin, who is the author of the last book that I showcased. Like I said before, he is a huge, prolific designer, so if you are really interested in logo design or in his work specifically, he has tons of classes, and it seems most recently he published a class that has tips to speed up your design workflow. So he's got a lot of ground covered here. So really, if you're interested in starting in design, Skillshare is a very valuable resource to turn to because it has so many legit design professionals, and then you don't have to turn to crummy YouTubers anymore. So if you want to check out the classes but you don't want to pay any money, I have a discount code in my description box for the first 500 people get a 2-month trial. This is like my 4th Skillshare video and I still don't remember what to say. Basically, if you click on the link, the first 500 people get 2 months for free of premium. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, I'm gonna end this video now because my brain is not working as well and I'm finding a harder time to speak words. So, goodbye.